Hey guys, welcome back to the Wood Metal Workshop. I'm Kent. People over at Jepson Power Equipment contacted me and asked if I'd like to try out some of their blades. As most of you know, I have a Jepson super dry cutter, 14-inch metal cutting saw, dry cutter as it's called. You don't use any liquid lubricant on it. You can use a wax lubricant if you want, but most of the time you just run with the blade. Anyhow, they sent me out some stuff. I've got a project coming up for some aluminum, so they sent me an 8-inch for my Milwaukee metal cutting saw. So we've got that one to try out. They sent me a 96 tooth aluminum cutting blade for the super dry cutter, which of course we'll be trying out and seeing how well that cuts. And then they sent me a general purpose that will cut just about everything. I suppose you can even cut wood with it if you wanted to. But yeah, stainless steel, mild steel, non-ferrous metals, and plastics. So they gave us a good assortment to try out. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So come on, let's get set up on a saw and we'll get cutting. Alright guys, we got the thick aluminum cutting blade in. As you can tell, I already made one cut just to find out, make sure everything was set up well. Aluminum's expensive, don't want to waste too much of it doing these test cuts. 3-inch round stock, so not an easy cut to make. That's a big cut to make, so let's give her a try. One thing I have noticed with better blades on these dry cut saws is that it does a better job putting the heat into the chip. I mean, that's a really thin slice and it's warm, but I have no problems holding it in my hand. Whereas a cheaper blade seems to put more heat into the part. So that did a really nice job. It's not a perfect finish, but it is what it is. I mean, it's a rotary saw, so it's going to leave some marks. Any saw is going to leave marks. One of the big things with I've noticed with saw quality is the ability to cut extruded shapes. Now, cheaper blades don't do well with extruded shapes, I've noticed. So let's give this one a try. Once again, it's warm to the touch, but it is not hot, and it cut this extruded shape extremely well. There's no burrs hanging out on the inside. So if you had an extruded shape that you had to slide a nut, a bolt, something else into, like a spot here for a nut and a fastener to go in this one, this is just scrap that I picked up somewhere. There's no burr there to hold you up from assembling your project. Works really nice to have that ability with 80/20. So this was a little bit thicker. We've got another one here that has some plastic on it in two different places. It's got a strip there and a strip there. So now we've got multiple materials. We've got a plastic, what seems to be more of a plasticky strip here, and the aluminum. Once again, no heat. This side you can see was hacked away at by something. Somebody hacked that off, and this is the side we just cut, and it's perfectly smooth. Once again, no burrs in the places where you put fasteners and stuff in. Let's give that one another one. So plastic piece, nice clean cut. The aluminum, a beautifully clean cut. This plastic piece, a nice clean cut. And just that tiny little bird take off. And once again, the slots are wide open. Here we have another extrusion. This one's much thinner. And this is where sometimes with a cheaper blade, you'll get some deflection and tearing. But it's a perfect cut. Let's see how thin of a piece we can take off. At that thin we got some deflection and tearing, but you're not going to be cutting a piece to use this thickness. Yeah, and very little heat into the part itself. Beautiful cut. No burrs on the places where you slide your bolts in. A lot of cobwebs. That's what happens when you grab stuff out of the scrap bin. Alright guys, the Jepson blades for aluminum, give them a thumbs up. We're going to do some more testing with these, do a few projects with them, and if I find anything wrong with them, I'll let you know. But if it's if they're anything like the original blade that came on this saw, it was designed for cutting steel, stainless, etc. Highly impressed with that one. And now that they're expanding into the U.S. market, they'll be more available to all of us. So if you're looking for a good blade, something that's going to hold up, cut really nice, aluminum or steel or stainless or any other ferrous or non-ferrous metal, look for the Jepson blade. Alright guys, we'll catch you in the next one.